Check out the book Grandaddy by author Cavis Adams. Grandaddy is a close-up view into the distant past and back again, a stream of generational consciousness that slows to show the story of a lone black family in white America, from the fiery era of sharecropping in the South to the deathly cold industry of the modern North. The reader will migrate in heart and mind along the span of 3 generations, finding ourselves finally close to how we came to be today. As lived by a lone family torn between time and place, this book tells the closer story of a greater reality, that of the Great Black Migrations, from a racially segregated South up to the equally fragmented northern states, and what was lost by a people along the way. Make sure to check out the book Grandaddy. Details in the description box.
Everett Palmer Jr. died in April 2018. Now, he was on his way from Delaware to Queens to visit family here, but stopped off in York, Pennsylvania to take care of an outstanding warrant having to do with the DUI. 2 days later, his family is told that he died in police custody after an incident, quote, following an excited state, and that he hit his head on the cell door and was restrained. Now, his body was returned to his family, but missing organs, the heart, throat, and the brain. And now, it's not unusual for organs to be removed and held after autopsies. However, the family has sought to get samples of the organs so their own pathologist can do testing, but has hit roadblock after roadblock. They say the coroner has ruled out death from natural causes and suicide, but the cause of death remains inconclusive. His heartbroken mother believes there's more to all of this.
The most frustrating part is my son being murdered and no longer being in our lives. How he was murdered and not having any answers.
To this point, when we have made demands, we've either gotten no response at all or vague promises for clarity in the future, and that future has not come quick enough.
Now, methamphetamine toxicity was cited in the ME report, but the family says he never used meth. The family feels very strongly that there's some sort of cover-up here. Now, Everett Palmer Jr., he was an Army veteran and also the father of 2 sons.
Guys, it's Nicole here, back on this Tuesday afternoon. I hope you guys are all doing great out there, and welcome back to Nicole's View. So, this story here, I definitely wanted to talk about and speak on because it's one of those stories that we all should know about, we should be aware about. Organ harvesting is a real thing. No longer should we be tiptoeing around this. No longer should this subject be hidden under the covers and whispered about. This is mainstream now. And something needs to be done about it. Okay? If folks did not sign up to have their organs taken from them after death, if you cannot find any type of proof, meaning through driver's license, through a will, some type of life insurance policy where you list that as what you want after you pass. If there is no such thing, then folks need to be investigated, last who they were with, especially in a story like this, and they need to be held accountable. Period. And charges need to be brought up. Look into everybody, even the folks at the funeral homes. Everybody needs to be looked at because we know there is a great market. There is a black market for organs. There are folks in your upper echelon of society and there are people in the lower part. Many people need organs, and we already know where they're going to automatically go to, the folks with the money. Even the folks who don't have it and who've been waiting on lists and can't get it because for whatever reason, not a match, or they can't afford it or whatever, they have to wait by the wayside while those at the top get it. And that's why you have stuff like this man here, no organs, no brain, no throat, all that kind of madness. Because they know people are willing to take and pay top dollar for organs. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and read this from AtlantaBlackStar.com, and it says, family demands answers after body of Army vet who died in police custody is returned with organs missing. This is how America, this is how you don't kneel during the national anthem, Donald Dump. This is how our vets are treated. Our black vets, at least. Everyone should be talking about this. This should be a major news story, not just some blip. This is a vet. This is a man that fought for this country. And this is how he's treated. This is how his family's treated. You think Donald Trump is tweeting about him right now? Highly doubt it. Okay, so it's been just over a year and a Delaware family is still struggling for answers after Army veteran Everett Palmer Jr. died in police custody, was returned to relatives with some of his organs missing. Palmer's family have spent the past year, the cover-up has already started, folks. The cover-up is done. Okay? The family have, for the past year, been trying to track the 41-year-old's throat, heart, and brain. I am so sorry for that poor family. All those organs are in somebody's body right now. I know that is pretty morbid to even say or to even think about. Those organs are long gone. Somebody else is walking around with this man's brain, this man's heart, and this man's throat. Sickening. Okay, all of which were missing from his body, according to CNN. The grieving family said they haven't a clue what happened to their loved one and say officials have been stingy with answers. The entire case smacks of a cover-up. I agree. Attorney S. Lee Merritt, who's representing the Palmers, told the outlet via telephone. York County officials insist the man's organs were never missing. However, of course you do. Palmer died in police custody at the York County Prison on April 9th, 2018. His brother, Dwayne Palmer, said Everett was headed to visit their sick mother in New York, but first wanted to resolve an outstanding DUI warrant from a 2016 incident in Pennsylvania to ensure his license was still good. So this man was doing the right thing. He thought, you know what, let me go take care of this so I have a clean license, clean record, nothing, no cops stopping me. He's more worried about probably being pulled over while black. And this is what happens to him. Okay, this is what happens. That was the last time they would speak. An autopsy performed by the York County Coroner's Office determined Palmer had died following an excited state where he began hitting his head against the inside of his cell door and he was held back. I'm no coroner, okay? I'm just going by common sense. How would a coroner know? I know he or she would probably know maybe by, certain, traumas to the head and whatnot. But how does he know all of this unless he was fed the rest of this stuff? He was being held back. And really? Maybe they do know, but that just sounds a little extra to me. Hitting his head against the inside of his cell door, and he was held back. This is what this coroner is saying. All on code, folks. This is all on code. This is all this is. The report also noted that Palmer had become frustrated as a result of meth toxicity. A probe or a probable sickening red cell disorder was also listed as a contributing factor in his death, reported CNN. Okay. All right. Yeah. If you believe the meth stuff, okay. All right. Palmer's relatives said the father of two didn't have any health issues prior to his demise and called the autopsy report's claims of him hitting himself completely out of character. They acknowledged Palmer had a history of drug use, but never meth. And that's where I was like, yeah, if you believe that meth crap, you know, I have a bridge to sell you. Because for most part, black people don't do meth. That's just not our thing. It's just never been our thing. It's rare. Very rare. And I highly doubt that this man went to that prison doped up on meth. That would be the last place he wanted to go. Okay? I mean, this is just common sense here, folks. And when I hear about this coroner explaining it, you know what it sounds like to me? He probably did become frustrated because he's sitting there thinking, I'm supposed to be taking care of this, and what the hell is going on? He probably got into it with them. Like, wait a minute, I just came to take care of this. Why am I still sitting here? Why can't I do this? Kind of reminds you of Sandra Bland. You know, I'm just sitting here, you know, what the hell is going on? But I'll never believe that this man did this. If the family is saying this is not even in his character, they're right. Whatever they're telling you is a lie. All right, let me go ahead and finish this out. It goes on to say, we don't believe anything officials are telling us at this point, Dwayne Palmer said. It's a tremendous loss for our family. We are devastated. And Mr. Palmer, Mr. Dwayne Palmer, I agree. I don't believe a word of it either. Processing records from the jail also showed Palmer had no drugs on him, on his person, nor was he under the influence when he was booked. There you go. Leading the family's attorney to suspect Palmer was giving drugs while behind bars. That's a possibility. He would have to received it, the alleged meth, in the jail itself, Merritt told CNN, adding, we don't believe that happened. Yeah, I don't believe they would just give him drugs either. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make a lick of sense. On July 28th, 2019, the York County Coroner's Office updated Palmer's autopsy report to include a manner of death listed as undetermined. The office has promised to update the report as more information becomes available. The report notes that Palmer was unresponsive when he was rushed to a medical clinic. He was later transferred to York Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The family said it was only after the body was returned that they hired an independent pathologist who informed them Palmer was missing a few of his body parts. Okay? Wow. According to Merritt, it's not unusual to take organs out of a body during an autopsy, especially if you believe they were subject to trauma. The highly unusual part is to misplace them, he added, which makes me believe they probably did something to that man and they're trying to hide it and they took his organs out, especially the brain. If he's sitting up there hitting his head like they're claiming, which I think is probably something else, they're probably beating him up, okay? Of course they're going to take that out because then that'll prove that there was something going on in there. Because if he was doing it to himself, that his brain would have remained in there. I don't believe this for a second. Let's see. After 7 months of trying to locate the missing parts, the coroner's office told Palmer's family the organs were at an independent lab. The family's attorney said the lab has refused to hand over the parts, however, citing a pending investigation. Now, if that happened, they sold those parts. Them parts are gone. They sold that man's organs. His constitutional rights are being violated, said Merritt. And it goes on to say, however, York County Coroner Pam Gray released a statement Friday denying national media reports surrounding Palmer's death. From the beginning of the investigation, appropriate chain of custody was maintained of the remains of Everett Palmer Jr., date of birth 1/14/1977, and date of death 4/9/2018. At no time were the remains missing, the statement said. At no time did we direct the family to the funeral home for missing organs, and we did advise the family through their attorney at the time that the organs referenced the heart, brain, and throat have been retained by Forensic Pathology Associates for further investigation. Okay, so give them over then. Where are they? And it goes on to talk about the family of 17-year-old Georgia student Kendrick Johnson, whose body was found rolled up in a gym mat at Lowdowns High School in 2013. Ran into a similar issue when they claimed the teen's body was returned to the family without his internal organs and his body stuffed with newspaper. Folks, these folks probably sold this man's organs. Okay? Let's see. It says, when asked for comment on the Palmer case, King with the York County District Attorney's Office told Atlanta Black Star that the office does not comment on pending or ongoing investigations. The Army vet's family remains in the dark following their loved one's mysterious death and are now calling on others to help them to get to the bottom of it. If he was being processed for something that he did wrong in terms of the DUI, he should be held accountable for that, but it shouldn't be a death sentence, certainly inside of a jail. Dwayne Palmer told CNN, "We know that there are good people in that prison system. We appeal to them to come forward and share what they know." And that is the end of the article. And yes, if his organs are somewhere nicely, safely stored away, then give them up. Release them. Why are you not doing that? If there's no foul play, if there's no shenanigans going on, if there's no funny business, then give back his organs. Oh, that's right. Y'all gave him away. I can bet you, in my opinion, they sold that man's organs. Okay? It doesn't make sense. It's been over a year. I can guarantee you they gave that man's organs away. They sold them, gave them away. They're not there anymore. They're in somebody else's body. My belief. This is my belief. Okay? And none of it makes sense. None of it makes a lick of sense. The man looks like, to me, looking at him, looks healthy to me. I don't know him personally, but just looking, knowing, his background, knowing that it's been widely stated that black people and our organs are in high demand. Okay? So hearing stuff like this doesn't shock me. And we have to be careful. He was doing a good thing. Going to get something taken care of. The mistake he may have made did not warrant for him to be found dead without major organs. That is a problem. And this family deserves to know what happened to their son. This veteran that served for this country. You take a knees. You're taking knees because you're disrespecting the vets. You folks. Where are you at for this? Where are you at with your outrage for this veteran here taking a knee, and you disrespecting the flag and you disrespecting the anthem? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? This man deserves to know, or his family, deserves to know what happened to him. This man deserves justice. And I don't believe for a second this stupid story that they're telling the media and telling everybody out here. I don't believe it for 1 second. I think it's a bunch of bunk, a bunch of hogwash. I don't believe any of this. It doesn't even make sense. I believe the family in this. I believe something happened to him. I believe they did something to him. I believe he probably got pissed because they were holding him so long. And he's like, I want to go see my mother, my sick mother. And they probably got pissed off at him. They probably went in there and probably roughed him up. Probably roughed him up real good. Probably ended up killing him. Next thing you know, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Take him somewhere. They take all his organs out. And then let the family know, oh, we're so sorry to inform you. This is what they do. And they expect us to believe this crap. Give me a break. I really hope that something comes of this. I hope this family can get to the bottom of this. I'll keep on top of this and see what happens. But it's been a year now. The cover-up has happened. Now they have to figure it out. But they're covering this up. I'm sad to say they're probably never going to know what happened to their son and his organs. That's some sick stuff. Sick. This is how America treats its so-called veterans. So when they want to bitch about Colin Kaepernick and you not standing for an anthem, a flag, you bring up this veteran here. You bring up Everett Palmer Jr. and ask them, where were you helping this family? Throw it back in their face. And not just because to be doing tit for tat, but to prove that this is how America treats its so-called honorable vets. Like trash. Literally like trash. Take this man's organs and that's the end of it. And we're supposed to accept this story. Absolutely amazing. Isn't it? The hypocrisy of it all. Hypocrites. Anyway, that's all I got to say on this. It just pisses me off so much. Rest in peace to this brother. I hope justice is done. Condolences to this man's family. It's just disgusting. And I hope we find out something about this. But I won't hold my breath, unfortunately. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.